Hey guys, Dylan Cuesta here for FootageCrate.com. One of FootageCrate's claims to fame is its healthy selection of muzzle flares. Single fire, automatic, 3-point, 4-point, 8-point, smoke, no smoke, something for every occasion. Now, as we've covered in the past, there's more to these than just dropping them over your footage. So I'm going to run through the basics for those of you who are still new to the process, then cover a few tips that'll give your gunfire an extra level of authenticity. All of this, mind you, in Premiere CC. So the process starts like any other effects shot. Get the file you want off of FootageCrate, open your project, and drop it into the scene. Some of the older flares you can pull off the site might include some smoke, which is great if you want a fast solution for getting some realism into your scene. However, if you really want to mess with the scale and such, you may notice the corners of the video file, revealed by the smoke clouds. To fix this, just add a crop to the clip, apply a circle mask around the flare, and feather things out a bit. Be sure to check off the invert box so it gets rid of the right piece. Adjust scale, position, rotation as needed, maybe even add a blur to smoothen everything in, and play with any blending modes you think would make it look the best it can. And voila! Gunfire. Now, a trick that I apply to all of my flare edits, no matter how simple of a result I want, is to extend the flare to 2 frames, having the second one rotate, expand, and fade before cutting off. I do this for 2 reasons. First, on a technical level, while it makes sense that a flash of any kind would last for a single frame in footage, this creates a risk that the effect might get lost during playback on YouTube or other video sharing sites, whether it's from the compression or the strength of somebody's individual internet connection. Second, and this is more subjective, I'll admit, I prefer my gun flares to have a little more punch. I realize this might not be for everyone, so feel free to tweak this method to your own tastes. Now, when it comes to getting environmental light into your gunshot, there's 3 ways of going about it. The first is to simply add light in post, adjusting brightness and contrast in conjunction with the flash work in these 2 frames. But you can make a more detailed, area-specific effect by using Premiere CC's masking tools. To start on this, create a duplicate layer of the action frames and place them above the original. Add a crop to this new piece and select the pen masking tool. We'll then decide point by point which parts of the frame we'd like to brighten up when the flash goes off. Once you have a rough mask set up, you can adjust the individual points and even add new ones to make further modifications. Check off the invert box and crop at 100% from any direction. Then add brightness and contrast and proceed to brighten as before. You can also brighten the original layer at a lower degree so it all goes hand in hand. Feather out the cropped layer to smoothen everything out, and you have a totally usable simulation of actual light from a gun. Now, this all said, unless you put in additional work to replicate shadows and color tones, the effect can sometimes look artificial. Especially when you compare it to the last option of lighting it practically. Those of you who've been with us for a while might remember Chris's video on this method. If not, you can see it here. In a nutshell, line up the action of the gun with an off-screen light. Be patient because it's going to take a few times to get the timing just right. Now, after you've put in your footage, you can easily remove any extra frames where the light is still present, either individually or by simply speeding up the rate of certain chunks. Practical approaches to creating an effect are often the key to elevating your YouTube video to an authentic cinematic experience. Case in point. Anyone else remember these? They were all the rage back in 07. While air cannons are certainly ideal for scaring oblivious toy store patrons or your cat, they double as a more than decent enhancement for action filmmaking. Whether it's sending a slight breeze through a talon's hair after a gunshot or laser blast, or creating a squib-like burst on clothes for gunshot wounds. Simply choreograph some movement with your actor, give it a few tries, and line up your post-work with the action. These so-called air zookas are pretty easy to come by. There are many affordable options on sites like Amazon or any novelty toy site. But if you're on a budget, there's all sorts of tutorials online that show you how to make them out of household items. Hope you guys found these tips useful. To conclude, I'd say, as important as it is to get really good at editing special effects and, action sequences, it's important to make sure you put just as much effort into creating props and choreographing your footage, so that the final product ties together nicely. Be sure to check out FootageCrate's arsenal of free muzzle flashes and try them out for yourself. It's gonna take a little practice to master, but after 2 or 3 test videos, I guarantee the quality of your effects work will make some good improvement. If you have any other questions on muzzle flashes or any other gun-related effects work, be sure to let us know on the Facebook page or in the comments below. Well, that's it guys. Till next time, peace.